Good evening, Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel coming at you. We got the latest in Tennessee basketball news as we knew there was going to be roster movement at some point. It's not a matter if, it's a matter of when, and we've already got it. Freddie Dilione is the first one to the portal for Tennessee. He was the highest ranked recruit. Well, he enrolled early, so he was a redshirt freshman this year because he enrolled at the halfway point a year and a half ago basically. And so now he is gone to the portal. I talked about this a couple nights ago when I did the talk about the Tennessee roster, talking about, where does this team move going forward? What does this team look like in the portal? And Dilione was a name I mentioned that I had started reading about. I'd first read it on Rocky Top Insider. They speculated about DJ Jefferson and Freddie Dilione as guys to the portal, and Dilione's there. That's your first one to the portal here. I was reading about it tonight. I was mainly reading through 24/7's Travis Branham of 24/7 broke the news that Dilione was heading to the portal. Others piggybacked on that as well. But I was reading just comments from mods on 24/7 and stuff about, people were asking, well, what was the deal here with him? And, I think it's just, I don't know if it's so much not buying in, but that he didn't know the plays. He couldn't get on the court because he didn't know the plays offensively nor defensively. And a guy like Rick Barnes, it's attention to detail. If you're not detailed, you're not going to play for Rick Barnes. And it's kind of funny to me. We've seen it. Each year, it feels like your main recruits can't make it at Tennessee. And I don't think that's an indictment on Rick Barnes. I mean, you look at Julian Phillips last year. Now, he went pro, but he had entered the portal prior to deciding to stay in the draft. And, his role diminished as the year went along, while others' roles picked up. If you're not going to buy in on both ends of the court with Rick Barnes, you're not going to play for Rick Barnes. All right. And you should know this when you sign with him. So, it doesn't matter how good you were in high school. You're the big man on campus. You're the big superstar. It's all void when you come to Knoxville. It's all void when you go to whatever program you go to. All right. It's a new day. And, if you're not willing to buy into it, then odds are you're not going to play for a guy like Rick Barnes. And, it's his program. All right. We can sit and say what we want to. Brandon Huntley Hatfield a couple years ago. Same thing. They tried with him. He left at the end of the year. Don't really think they wanted him to, but you know what? You got to buy in. He went to Louisville. Now he's hit the portal again. He's going to NC State next year. So, Kennedy Chandler had his moments at Tennessee, but Kennedy Chandler balled in defensively and offensively, and he was arguably Tennessee's best player at the end of that season. I say arguably. You could maybe make an argument some others were, but to me, I thought Kennedy Chandler at the end of the season 2 seasons ago was Tennessee's best player. And it'd been nice to have had him for another year or two while he's bounced around the G League or wherever he's at. But Dilione to the portal, so now that officially opens up 3 scholarships for next year because, you have Dalton Connectley, Josiah Jordan James, Santiago Vescovi, but you have Bishop Boswell coming in, combo guard out of North Carolina. That's the only high school recruit they have. So now, that opens you up 3 more spots. Now, that opens you up 3 spots for what you want to do with this team. Frankly, with the way Rick Barnes coaches, and I think there's going to be more. I've said it on DJ Jefferson. I just can't see it. The guy was not even getting minutes in mop-up time this year. And, I don't know if it's case God. I don't think talent's the problem. So there's something with offensive, defensive buy-in, something. I don't know. I can't say that he's not buying in. Something's not jiving. Let's just put it that way for him to not get off the bench. And then I've seen some speculation about Kade Phillips possibly hitting the portal as well. Not a done deal by any means, but I've started seeing that speculation as well. So if you get 2 more guys, that's 5 guys you can add through the portal. You look at what Rick Barnes added last year with Dalton Connect with Jordan Gainey. Justin Gainey's his assistant coach, Jordan Gainey. Let's say Barnes does add through the portal. Is that a bad thing? I don't think it is. Names are starting to creep up now. VolQuest.com released aboard. I've not read it. I don't have a VolQuest subscription. I did see Eric Kane on his YouTube show, which Eric Kane is part of VolQuest. I saw him talking about some names today. On Chaz Lanier from North Florida is a guy who scored close to 20. He talked about numerous names. I was looking at the portal here myself and was going through some names. So some that has stood out to me that I know I don't know. There's one Kade Tyson, according to 24/7. He is played for Belmont. He's a small forward. I have seen possible interest that Tennessee's reached out, as well as other schools as well. One that stands out to me I've not seen mentioned, but I know Tennessee was in this one pretty deep, was I think it's Andre. I know it's Stojakovic. So if you remember Patience Stojakovic used to play for Sacramento Kings and stuff. Heck of a player back when he played in the NBA. His son, Andre Stojakovic, played for Stanford. He hit the portal. Tennessee was in pretty deep on that recruitment. So, do they revisit that? Do they go back in on that one? I've not seen it mentioned, but that's a name that stands out to me just from their commitment. Do they kind of kick the tires on that one, or are they going for more proven guys with it as well? And, a lot of your names in the portal, funny enough, are guys who they're not well known. They're from a lot of basically your mid-major schools. One connection I've heard here as well, and he played at Northern Colorado this year, which guess who came from Northern Colorado? Dalton Connect. Well, the name's St. Thomas. So I've seen that name mentioned as a guy. I think he played, from what I heard, community college ball, and now he's in the portal. So is that a possible name? Do they revisit that? Is Northern Colorado going to become a Tennessee pipeline at some way? We'll see on that one. But that is a name I've heard mentioned as well. I'm trying to see who else. If as you go through these, there's some other ones I've heard mentioned that I heard the name B.J. Freeman here. He, let's see, he was at Wisconsin Milwaukee. He's a little bit bigger guy, a power forward. I've seen his name mentioned, or I've heard it mentioned, not seeing. And then there's others. Like I said, there's Chaz Lanier. That's the main name I've seen. So if Tennessee has reached out there, I mentioned the guy from Belmont earlier. Let me find that one again. Kade Tyson. So supposedly he has some pretty high interest there as well. There's a dude from Hofstra. I cannot remember the name off the top of my head that I've heard mentioned as well. You're going to see a lot of names. You're not going to see guys coming from, odds are, North Carolina, Duke. I did see there was a big man from Duke entered the portal earlier. I didn't actually click on it to see who had entered it. But, Tennessee could have anywhere from 3 to 5 spots. And then I did see Ben McKee mention on the comments that there's other teams. I guess let's face the facts. There's a lot of tampering going on, trying to hit up some of Tennessee's role guys. So who's to say if a big NIL offer comes in, someone does not up and hit the portal here? My main guys I hope that don't hit the portal, I hope it's Zakai Ziegler does it. I don't think he would, but I mean, guys, who knows? A Jemai Mashak, not saying these guys are going to hit the portal. I'm not saying there's even any speculation, but these are guys I really hope don't. Those two, I think Jordan Gainey will be an asset. I like Cam Carr. I hope Cam Carr sticks around. I think he can be a star at Tennessee. I really do. JP Estrella, Tobey Awaka, those are guys that I really hope. I'm not mentioning Adu because, I hope Adu comes back, but if he doesn't, I don't know. I'm mixed on that. I'm not going to be honest. I'm mixed, and I don't mean to sound bad on that one, but just the end of the year got me down on him a little bit for him to have such a good year with it. But, stay tuned. I'm going to have, consistent roster updates, what happens, what we know for sure right now. Connect is gone. James Vescovy gone. Freddie Dilione is your first guy to enter the portal here, and I suspect there will be more news on that, and hopefully there will be more news on guys visiting campus, getting guys to commit and get in the fold with the team. Because if you're transfer, and you saw what Dalton Connect come in and did last year, who bought in to both sides of the court with Rick Barnes. Dalton Connect made himself a lot of money this year by coming to Tennessee. Hopefully, if you're a portal guy on the fringes, you'll see the same thing too. My name's Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel. Stay with me throughout this as we'll keep updating the roster as we go along. I will record right after this a video about the Tennessee-Auburn baseball series this weekend. I'll release it here in a few minutes as well. But I hope you guys have a good rest of the evening. Have a great Friday. And as always, go Vols.